This is Craig Laughter. I'm speaking to you today from the world-renowned Museum of Anthropology at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, British Columbia. I've created this channel to help international students make well-informed decisions in choosing to study abroad. I hope you find this video useful. This video explains how to assess your candidacy for undergraduate admission. I will discuss why assess your candidacy, the criteria the institution uses, assessing your attributes, minimum admission standards, comparing yourself to the admission standards, and strategies you should adopt. Correctly assessing your candidacy for an institution of higher education is important, for most of them charge application fees, and wasting money is not wise. Applying to an institution where you have no chance of being admitted, or to many institutions where it would be easy to be admitted, would be a waste of time. It is better to be strategic, and that depends on knowing your chances of gaining admission. Canadian institutions of higher education typically evaluate international applicants for undergraduate admission based on their prerequisites, grades, standardized test scores, personal profile, and portfolio or recordings for artistic programs. Each institution and program, however, has its own criteria which can be found on its website. Most selective and highly selective Canadian Anglophone institutions of higher education look for a college preparatory curriculum from applicants for undergraduate admission. Generally, students are expected to successfully complete English composition, literature, 4 years, mathematics, 3 years, pre-calculus or calculus for Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Applied Science programs, chemistry, 1 to 2 years for Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Applied Science, and physics, 1 to 2 years for Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Applied Science. However, check the program that you're interested in for specific requirements. Most selective and highly selective Canadian Francophone institutions of higher education also look for a college preparatory curriculum from applicants for undergraduate admission. Generally, students are expected to successfully complete literature, 4 years, mathematics, 3 years, pre-calculus or calculus for Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Applied Science programs, chemistry, 1 to 2 years for Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Applied Science programs, and physics, 1 to 2 years, also for Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Applied Science programs. Unlike Anglophone institutions, however, they also require completion of a 1-year preparatory course. They may accept 30 university transfer credits or an international baccalaureate diploma instead. An international baccalaureate diploma is a 2-year educational program for 16 to 19-year-olds that provides an internationally accepted qualification for entry into higher education. It is available in English, French, and Spanish. It consists of a core, theory of knowledge, the extended essay, creativity, activity, and service, and subject areas, studies in language and literature, language acquisition, individuals and society, sciences, mathematics, and the arts. An international baccalaureate diploma is particularly prized among highly selective institutions due to the rigor of the curriculum and standards. Canadian institutions of higher education look at grades in all academic courses. That doesn't include career education courses, physical and health education courses, faith-based courses, skills-based courses, or courses in applied design and technology. They look at your grades in courses that fall under key subject categories related to your chosen degree. They look at your grades in key courses. Your key courses will be determined by your chosen degree, but English at the senior level or pre-calculus at the senior level are among the most common. Canadian Anglophone institutions of higher education traditionally rely on standardized tests to help determine admissibility. The tests for undergraduate admission are Scholastic Assessment Test or American College Testing. Advanced placement tests are given after a student completes an AP course to determine if the student's performance is worthy of university credit. The tests for English proficiency are Test of English as a Foreign Language, International English Language Testing System, Pearson Test of English Academic, or the Canadian Academic English Language Assessment. Canadian Francophone institutions of higher education do not require standardized tests to help determine admissibility. They rely on the required one-year preparatory program instead. The tests for fresh proficiency are Test d'évaluation de français or Test d'évaluation de français adapté pour le Québec. Assessing your attributes involves figuring your high school grade point average, or GPA, the average of all grades earned, analyzing your high school curriculum, reviewing your standardized admission test scores for Anglophone institutions, and your English or French language proficiency score for all institutions. Different types of Canadian institutions of higher education have different minimum admission standards. Universities medical doctoral require a minimum of a 3.5 GPA and 1,300 SAT or 28 ACT scores. TOEFL IBT between 90 and 100, IELTS between 6.5 to 7. Universities comprehensive require a minimum of a 3.3 GPA and 1250 SAT or 26 ACT. TOEFL IBT of 90 and IELTS 6.5. Universities undergraduate generally require a minimum of a 3.0 GPA. SAT or ACT are generally not required. TOEFL IBT score of 90, IELTS 6.5. And colleges require a minimum of a 2.0 GPA. SAT or ACT are not required. TOEFL IBT score of 83, IELTS 6.5. Keep in mind, science, engineering, and commerce programs are more competitive, so the minimum requirements for each class of institution are going to be higher for those programs. Compare yourself to the admission standards is the next step. The admission standards are the minimum for the type of institution. Higher ranked institutions are more competitive and have higher minimum standards. Apply to institutions most consistent with, just above, and just below your academic record. Let's consider a candidate who has a 3.7 GPA from high school, 1350 SAT scores, and 110 TOEFL scores. Most consistent with this background would be universities medical doctoral. For example, the University of Calgary, University of Ottawa, Université de Sherbrooke. Let's take this same candidate and look for institutions that are just above their record. Again, it's going to be universities, medical, doctoral, but more highly ranked. For example, the University of Toronto, University of British Columbia, Université de Montréal. Now let's consider the same candidate and look at institutions just below. That's going to be universities comprehensive. For example, the University of Waterloo, University of Victoria, Université de Québec à Montréal. In applying for admission to a Canadian institution of higher education, you're really applying for admission to a particular program at an institution. As such, you can double your chances at an institution by applying for more than one program. For example, you can apply for a Bachelor of Applied Sciences in Engineering, which is a more competitive program to gain admission to, and a Bachelor of Arts in English, which is a less competitive program to gain admission to. Your best strategy should be to apply to institutions that are a good fit, a reach, and a safety. A good fit for institutions that are a good match for your academic record. A reach are the institutions that are just above. A safety are the institutions that are just below. You can improve your chances of securing a scholarship by applying to an institution that is below your qualifications, particularly one where you would be among the best applicants to seek admission to the institution that year. In general, you should attend the best institution and program admitted to that you can afford. If you found this video informative, please indicate that you liked it and subscribe to my channel. I'm regularly developing new content. Thank you.